Hi folks, we're going to have a chat around the table at Morgan's today, just looking back on the property market for 2025 and gearing up for 2026. We've got Claire Morgan, senior partner, Michaela, our sales manager, and Sarah, our property valuer. So we're going to have a wee chit chat and hopefully the listeners are going to enjoy what we've got to say.
Let's hope.
So Michaela, when people are coming into the office or they're phoning up, what's the sort of initial response at the moment that you're sort of giving clients to say about putting their house in the market or thinking of buying and selling? What do sort of...
Well, at the moment I always say it's December, so we know fine well it's that time of year it gets quieter, etc. But if you want to sell your property, you have to go on the market.
Absolutely.
And also ESBC and Rightmove, the statistics show that during the festive period people make life-changing decisions, whether it's moving house due to job relocation, perhaps separation, all of these things impact. So there is a huge spike in people looking at properties, so it's an ideal time to have your property visible and on the market.
Which is brilliant. It's just what we want to hear when people are coming in, and that sort of confidence.
I also say if it's a buoyant market, stable market or quiet market, if you want to sell and move on, you have to go on the market.
Absolutely. And it's been that robust, hasn't it, for everybody? We're all busy every day. It's been amazing last couple of years especially. But first time buyers market as well, it's taken off again. Sarah, when you're out valuing, what's the sort of response you're getting from people looking at that end of the market as well?
Well, I think the first time buyer market this year it's never slowed down.
No, it's never slowed down.
And I always say to people that people fall in love with how something looks. So if your product looks great, even if the market's a bit slower or you're at a price point that's maybe a wee bit trickier, if you look great, you will get that interest and you will get a buyer. But you need that first time buyer market to continue so that ripple effect all the way up. But yeah, definitely the first time mortgages the mortgage rates came down again, so it's affordable, and that's the main thing about having mortgages available, so the finance is there and getting people on the market.
Absolutely. And what's your top tips for people at all ends of the market? Because we always get asked that, from a one bed flat to a £500,000 house, what's the top tips to have your house best dressed?
Well, the good thing I think about the media companies that we use, they will send out an email to all our buyers to get photo ready. And it's the usual tips like, you know, have everything cleared away, have it looking as good as possible. But the fact that they send that email out, I think is great, because even if people maybe don't think about something, then it gets them focused on it. And I think have as little as possible, try and have it minimal. Let people see the size of the rooms as well and things like that.
So with 23 days left to Christmas trees up if you're listing this time of year or no?
I know.
Well, it's reality. Like a bit of festive reality.
Absolutely.
I mean, on a wee bit more serious note with the market as well, as that sort of difficult time has been very stressful for buyers, where the increase in fall throughs has been pretty much almost doubled in the last sort of 18 months. Claire, you've been a conveyancing solicitor for over 25 years. Can you maybe give us a wee bit of insight to the clients, what managing their expectations and just your insight into
such a huge change in the way that people buy houses now. When I first qualified, everybody would just take the risk, put their house on the market and be completely confident they would find something. That's not the case anymore. People only want to move for a specific property. So that's why we've become, most offers coming in, Michaela, I would say, are subject to sale. Obviously you've got your first time buyers, but moving on to the next level, subject to sale all the time.
I think it's what we need to get back to is really encouraging people when they are booking in for viewings and they've not had a valuation, that is one of the first steps they should be doing, because it's like a tick in the box and they're they're ready to go should they fall in love with the property. Be ready.
And have a mortgage approved.
Have a mortgage, absolutely,
all these things all done, ready to go. And you manage obviously their sellers' expectations. You're checking these things.
And as much, you can check everything, but you're relying on the person viewing, ensuring that they can afford the property, they're good to go with their own property, and just be vigilant and get your property valued.
So that's where it's been most challenging, isn't it? Say when you're out valuing, I mean, like say it's 4 or 5 months, some transactions and changes, and we're telling people that.
I think that's important. If you're at that higher end of the market, it's being realistic with them and saying you might be 4 to 6 months from this appointment going on to actual completion because of your chain, and at least you're managing people's expectations, rather than sort of promising them things or saying timescales are not realistic. So and again, it's about being ready. If they're waiting on something, I say to them as well, it could, if you like it, other people will like it. So you've got to put yourself in the best position for getting something too.
It's funny that we discuss chains on a daily basis. Whenever we use chains,
We've
wasn't
never
that
used
Scottish
one
thing?
No.
The chain and
I think
everything.
that's where it's changed so much.
Absolutely, and I think
word.
probably the last 2 years we've seen it creep in, and now it's just part of everyday life for estate agents and conveyancers.
Although I have seen
chatting,
a couple of people, that have actually put their property on the market and they've not committed to an onward, and that's quite refreshing because they're not then under all the pressure. So I think it makes their sale process a bit easier
if you
for
can
them
do it.
if you can do it. Because obviously the property will turn up that you want as well.
And look at the strong position you'll be in.
I mean, I suppose like we were saying earlier, we touched on people moving for different reasons, and it used to be it was quite simple and why people were moving, and now it's quite specific, an area they want to be in, or a street or a certain location. That's been one of the bigger changes in the last few years, isn't it?
I would say as well, so that people won't always just take the highest offer.
No,
so the position
no,
becomes far more important
Yeah.
to a seller, because they'd rather have somebody that's either under offer on the market or even sold or cash, and that's far more attractive to them rather than even that wee bit more money.
And I do think that people that are selling or going to sell are now aware of properties that have come back on the market. So they are aware that chains have now become kind of prevalent in selling in Scotland as well. So that's definitely impacting.
I mean, the question you always get as well is you're always asked pricing and offers over, offers in the region, fixed pricing. I suppose that just comes with different climate changes. Are we still getting, do you think when people come in and they're talking about that, are they thinking that offers over is still sort of getting these high premiums? I'm thinking we're maybe in for a bit more stable pricing.
Well, the ASBC did say 2.4% in the month of August, I think it was. So that was quite a, obviously, downturn compared to previous months and years. So I think realistically, the 10% are
these days are potentially lower. Somewhere between 3 and 5, I think, being more realistic, depending on what it is and where it is, location wise. That's always good insight. Right.
You had a couple of closing dates in the last
we still achieved the closing dates. Again, they're not that obvious, some of the closing dates, first time buyers are still getting
that's
closing dates for that as well.
About 20% of properties went to closing dates in the last, this year has been recorded. So that's phenomenal again, so it's always been a plus point. Sarah, what do you think the market for 2026? Are we in for a good start? I think we are. Yes.
Oh, I think we're going to be in for a good start, absolutely. I think the budget has now been delivered, which I think did have an impact on the market. There was a wee bit of nervousness out there, but obviously that's been and gone, and it carries on. And Christmas is here, but once Christmas is here, it'll be, like Michaela says, there's always a spike for different situations that happen as well, and people then just want to move by the spring. So January will be a strong start, I would anticipate.
We've still got the Scottish budget, but hopefully there won't be anything
no major changes, hopefully.
Surprising.
Hopefully not,
but it's early January, so
but looking forward to a good 2026.
Excellent. Michaela, being the sales manager.
Yes, long may it continue.
Advice to your clients in 2026?
Just being ready, be organised. We'll cover other things in another podcast, hopefully, about if you're carrying out alterations to your property. These things, making sure you've got all your paperwork in place, you're ready to go.
That's been a big factor, isn't it?
Huge factor.
Simple alterations have become a big problem when it comes to conveyancing.
Absolutely.
What's the worst ones you've had?
One of the attic hatches. Anything that involves engineers' reports is going to cause you a serious expense and serious delays. So don't put your property on the market until you've sorted all that out.
Excellent. Thanks, folks. That was excellent. I think it's good insight for our listeners. I hope the listeners enjoyed our podcast. It's the first one we've ever done. So if you've got any suggestions for future ones, just please let us know. Get in touch. Okay. Cheers.